Hello friends, here we are going to start a new video series. In this video series we will learn about abstract windowing toolkit for Java. AWT is a framework for providing the user interfaces. So in this video we are going to look at creating a frame window. So first we will create a AWT frame window, then we will display it. Then we will see how to close the frame window by providing a proper listener to it. So in this video we are going to look at the overview of AWT, because when we progressing through this video you will definitely get an idea of what is AWT, and you can tell yourself what is AWT towards the end of the video. So I don't want to make this session boring by talking about what is the AWT and what are all the versions of AWT, all those stuff. Alright, let us start with the frame window. Here we are starting with the frame window because the frame window will host other controls. So in the coming video series we will learn about the controls of AWT. So those controls we will place in the AWT frame window. That's why in the very first video itself we are going to look at how to create a frame window and how we can display it. So let us look at about Java's AWT frame window. AWT frame windows are top level windows which can hold other controls. So as already told, once a frame window is created, then you can place user interface elements into it. So the user elements are like text boxes, radio button, like that. The default layout is border layout, and we will learn more about different kind of layout in some other video. For now, if you know that the default layout is border layout, that's enough. Anyhow, here in this video we are going to provide a flow layout for the AWT frame window. Here we start our first video with the frame window because it's the container to hold other controls. In the learning process we will dig more into frame window later. So here what we are going to do, we are going to create a frame window, then we will set its position and size. After that we will see how to close this frame window, because that requires a special listener implementation. Alright, now let us create a very basic frame window with a minimum capability. So before creating the frame window, let us know the parts of the frame window. And if you see the outer frame, that's called border. The border of the frame window is called frame. Next, a frame window will have a title which usually appears in the top left corner. Then we have the standard Windows controls like minimize button, maximize or restore, which is in the middle. Then towards the right we see a close button. So the close button will quit the application. So we have to implement it that way. Or if the frame window is invoked from applications menu, then we may not be quitting the application, we will just close the frame. So we will learn all those later. Next, this is the placeholder to house the control. That means whatever we control we add, that will get added into this area. So this is a big area. So Windows programmer will call it as a client area here. So this is the document area here, we can say. So here in this area we can actually house other controls. So this will be the top level container, and the container will hold other controls. Alright, first let us create the frame window and show it to the user. So what we have to do, we can create our own class, then we can extend that class from the frame. Then to set the title, we are making call to the base class constructor super, and for that super we are passing the string frame title. So whatever title we pass, that will set as the frame window title. Next, using the set layout method of the AWT, we are setting the flow layout for our Java frame window. So in flow layout, the control will go from left to right and then top to bottom. Just think of that you have a notepad and you start writing a letter, or you start writing a paragraph, let's assume like that. So the words will grow from left to right, and when there is no space in the very first line, then we will automatically move to the next line. The same happens here in the flow layout. Instead of word here, you will start adding the controls, and when there is no room in the very first line, then the control moves to the next one. That means let's say you add 10 command buttons and only 4 command button is added in the first frame, and all those 4 buttons occupied the first line in the frame window. Then when you add the 5th one, it will automatically go to the next line, just like how the word spans between multiple line. The same way the control spans to multiple line here in the flow layout. So this is our second code snippet. So this code snippet runs from our main window. So in the main, we show the frame window. So before that, we first create the frame window. So in the top code snippet, if you see, the frame window is the class that we are creating and that extends from the frame. Here in the main, we are creating the frame window and we are passing a string to it. So that's the parameter to the frame window constructor. And inside the constructor, if you see, we are passing it to the frames constructor. So the frame is the AWT class. So we are deriving our frame window from that AWT class. So whatever string we pass here, that is handed over to the frame window constructor. I mean the frames constructor. Right, now frame will display a title. After that, what we are doing, we are making call to set visible equal to true. So when we pass a set visible to true, the window will get displayed to the user. Alright, now let us go to Eclipse and see how it works. So here is our very first test run. Here first we are going to create a frame, then we want to display it. And if you see, this is the class. So what we have to do, first we have to create a project, then we have to create a class. For now, I will copy this frame window class. Here I am starting the new project. Let me keep the name as AWT demo. So our project is ready. Next we are creating a new class. So if we need, we can create a package. For demo purpose, I actually think package is not required. Anyhow, we will create one package. So now I'm creating a class. So this is the class we want to create, frame window. And this should extend from java.awt.frame. So this is the super class. That means our frame window class extends from AWT frame. So if you see, it already imported the package from java.awt.frame, and our frame window extends from this frame class. Now we will copy the content, our first code snippet. So here is our constructor. So here is our first code snippet, and so we are importing the flow layout from java.awt package. Next, we need a main class. To display this frame window. So in the main class we will create this frame window. So for that I am creating a class, and let us name it as main entry. So we need a program entry, that's why I am placing a check mark on the public static void main. Then I am clicking finish here. Alright, now our main is ready. Here if you see, we are creating a frame window. This is the frame window which extends from frame. Then we are passing the title my first frame. So the reference is here. After that we are making the set visible to true. That means the window get displayed. So if I run it here, so this is our frame window on the top, which is get displayed. But when it is displayed, it just displays those three buttons only. So here is our my first frame. So that's the title we gave. Then there are three buttons, and if you expand you can see our frame window and you can move. Alright, now when it is displayed like this, right? Let us set initial size and position. Size is, this one is the size. If you see here, this is width and this one is height. This one is width. Look at the cursor. So this one is width and this is height. Similarly, when we talk about position, see at present I can say the frame window is displayed towards the right corner, right? So how we are saying based on the position, then we are saying that now frame window is in the bottom left corner. So we can specify the position based on x and y coordinate. So let us say from this is the origin 0. Look at the cursor. I am placing it in the top left corner. So this is the origin. From x, this is the x. We can specify the coordinate value, x coordinate value from 0 to how many pixel. Then from top how many pixel. So these together, x and y coordinate, marks the top corner of this frame window. That means this location. Alright, that will be our next step. And if you see, I'm not able to close the window. For now, we have to go to task manager and close the frame window. So let me do end task. Alright, in the first test run, we saw a frame window that get displayed, and we have to move the frame window and resize it. So that means we had done the resizing and positioning manually. Now we will do this by making call to the AWT framework function itself. so you can read it from the text. So it doesn't display the way we want, because we ended up moving the frame window, then resizing it. So we moved it to the required location, then we resized it. Alright, now we need to set its size and position, so that when the frame window is displayed, it will be displayed at some certain location and with a specific size, or with a initial size. So the functions are set size. Here, if you see, we are making call to the frames function, Java frames function set size. That means here we are setting the size of the frame, and the first parameter is the width, which is 400, then height is 300. That means we are setting the size of the frame window as 400 cross 300. That means width 400 and height 300. Then we are setting the location as 100, 100. That means x and y coordinate value of 100 specifies where should this frame window occur. Alright. Now in the set size, the param 1 is width and param 2 is height. And for the set location, the two parameter which we pass specifies the x and y coordinate values, which is from the top left corner of the window, or top left corner of your desktop area. Alright, now let us experiment this. So here is the code snippet. First, let me place it here in our frame window. So we already created this frame window in the main, and we displayed it also. Now we are customizing this frame window. Alright, now let us run this. And if you see, so the width here is a 400 and the height is a 300, and this is the position. From x coordinate it is 100, from y coordinate this one is 100. First let us adjust the initial position. Alright, to see the difference, like this. Next, I want to reduce the height, and let us place a somewhat higher width. So now you can clearly see the difference. So if you see, so this is the x coordinate. X coordinate we specified it as 300. That's why window is shifted here, and y coordinate is 100. So this one is the y coordinate from top. This one is the y coordinate, and from left, this one is the x coordinate. So 300 from x and y. So that decides this top left corner of this window. Then width we specified it as 600. Then height is 100 pixel. All right. So if you look at here, each time we are doing the end task, right? Why? Because clicking that red cross button is not closing this frame window. So in the demo, we saw how to display a frame window at a required location and with the required size. That means width and height. Now we will see how to close the frame window. Why? Because every time we are going to task manager and killing that, instead of that, when we click the red cross or the quit button, the frame window should close and application should quit. For that, first we need to implement WindowListener and call dispose method from the window closing handler. We need to implement the WindowListener, which will look for the close event. So when user moves the mouse button and clicks the quit button, then the window listener will listen for that specific event. Then we need to handle that event using the handler. So what we will do, first we will create a listener, then we will handle this window closing event, then our frame window will register for that listener. So it may be confusing now. Let us go ahead, and when we start implementing, you will get a clear picture. So the event which we need to handle is a window closing event, and the window closing event will be supplied with a window event. Here inside the handler, we are not going to use this window event. All we do is this dot dispose we will call. So the dispose method will quit the frame window. That means we are going to implement this method inside the frame window itself. So this here represents the frame window. That means the frame window is derived from frame. So you can say it's frame window or frame whatever. So we are making call to dispose. So the dispose will closes the frame window and it exits the application also. Alright, so first we handle the window closing, then we should register our frame window with this listener. So in the above code snippet, what you are seeing is a window closing event. Then the frame window should register for this listener. So what we are doing, we are saying that add window listener, then we are passing this. That means the class itself implements the listener. So the frame window is the class, and the same class implements the listener also. So that's why we are passing this reference. That means the frame window class is a window class as well as it is a listener as well. Alright, so I can say that it is listening itself since we pass this. So if we create a separate class that implements the listener, then we can pass that instance here. We will see all this stuff and all those stuff in some other video. But here our goal is closing the window. So for that we implemented window closing. We implemented the window listener. Then one of the method is the window closing, and inside that we make a call to this dot dispose. Then we add the listener to the frame window. Alright, now let us run this in Eclipse. So here if you see, first we need to implement the window listener. So what we have to do, so this is our frame window. So this is the listener we need, window listener. Now it is asking us to implement the window listener event. So our frame window itself implements the window listener. So here we are clicking add unimplemented methods. So these are all the window listener methods, and here we want to handle only the window closing. So other we can leave. Here we are making call to this dot dispose. Now if you see our this is our frame window which implements window listener. So in the window listener we are handling the window closing. Inside the window closing we are making call to this dot dispose. So the this dispose will close the window as well as it quits the application. Since the window is closed, we will automatically exit from the main. Alright, now alright, here we implemented it, window closing, but we should register this listener. So our frame window itself is a listener because it implemented the window listener. So we have to register this listener so that whenever user clicks that red button like this one, the event window closing will get called by the AWT framework. So now inside we are making call to this dispose. All right. So if you see here for add window listener, if you look at the parameter here, it is looking for a window listener. So now our frame window, this frame window, since it implements window listener, the current instance, that means we are inside the constructor, right? This current instance itself, window listener. So we are pausing this. So what happens when user clicks the close button? Since our frame window knows about the window listener, it forwards that event to window closing. So first it establishes a window event, then it makes a call to this handler window closing. So inside the window closing, we are just closing the frame window by making call to dispose. Now let me keep a breakpoint here so that you can see that it will get called whenever user clicks the close button. So here I am clicking the close button, and if you see, our window closing event is called. Once we call this .dispose, that window get closed, and we will quit from the application also. Let me run once again so that you can see. So now it allows a closing. That's all in this video. Thank you for watching. So this will be our basic video. So from next video onwards, we will be adding controls to the frame window. So we will not be seeing this step again and again. So whenever you want to know how to create frame window, you can refer this video. From next video onwards, we will directly add controls to this frame window. So when we proceed further, we will say that a frame window is readily available, and we will start adding the control, and we will start studying about the control. Alright, so in later videos we will once again revisit this frame window with to know more functionality about the frame window. Yeah, that's all in this video. Thanks for watching. Bye. If you like the channel, subscribe it. Bye for now.